These thoughts up in my head, things I never did. I took some L's, but I'm still here. I got these thoughts up in my head. I toss and turn about some things I never said. I got regrets about some things I never did. I took some risks and took some L's, but I'm still here. And I know.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Overthinking Thoughts Pod. I'm your host, Ed. And as always, journey with me as we pursue greatness in a world full of chaos. We are back again with another episode. And we're also in the festive week. So I know a lot of y'all going to be eating. A lot of y'all going to be hanging out with family. If you're traveling, please be safe on the road. You know, holiday drivers are crazy. Depending on who you are and where you're going. If you're that person that drives wild and you ain't worried about everybody else on the road, calm it down. All right. People trying to get to their destinations. You're going to get there. Relax. Okay. I get it. You want to be there. You trying to eat, get to the food coma. Like, got it. Also, make sure you're safe. Okay. And for those that are spending time, like, make sure you relax this week. Take some time for yourself. If you are going out and donating and like just giving back, like definitely appreciate your service and your volunteer work and all that, because everybody deserves they deserve time to relax and take it easy. So I hope that this week you use that and take some time to recharge. Hopefully, if you're not working and you got some days off, enjoy those. If you are working, just make sure you get a plate, take another one with you just in case, right? um but yeah, so hopefully you have a great holiday, and maybe take some time to relax and listen to the Overthinking Thoughts podcast. So if you're new here, just know that we try to pursue greatness in a world full of chaos. We try our best not to overthink, not to worry, and not to be anxious about anything. Understanding that life has its things, but we also are doing our best to navigate through everything that's happening. So that's for all my new people. If you're a returner, you know what it is. What's happening? Welcome back. Appreciate your support as always, keeping this going. I don't remember the number of this episode, but I do know that if you've been with me since day one, thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate it. Now, if you haven't done these things yet, shame on you. Understand that the Overthinking Thoughts Pod, it streams. Where are we? We are on Spotify. We are on Google. We're on Apple. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and of course, we're on YouTube as well. So like and subscribe over on YouTube, share the videos. The algorithm cannot do its thing if y'all don't share it. So get that out there for me, all right? And then for the socials, if you're trying to catch like the quick hitters, quick things of what's going on throughout the podcast, you can always do that. You catch me over on Instagram at OverthinkingThoughtsPod, and you can also catch me on TikTok, same handle at OverthinkingThoughtsPod. Shout out to all the new followers over on TikTok. I in the past week gained a nice handful of people. So shout out to y'all. I hope that you're getting something out of the content for sure. Share it with your people, repost, do all those things. I appreciate it. Okay, so this week, I think in the grand scheme of things and how festive it is this week, what you thankful for? Have you taken time to sit back and really analyze your life and be grateful and thankful for things that are going on? I know sometimes during the holiday it can be a tough moment. People lose loved ones. There's tragic events that may take place, and it's not the easiest thing to go through. And in the grand scheme, when family comes together, it may not be in the way that you want it to meet, because obviously it's a sad moment when you lose somebody that you care about and that you love. But at the same time, to be able to be in that environment, to be able to come together, I hope that you can gain something out of that. So being thankful for family, being thankful for those moments that you'll cherish forever. Those are things that sometimes we overlook because we take them for granted. And the way that life happens, man, like we can't take moments for granted. We cannot sit here and let time pass us by without being grateful or thankful for what we have. Um, I saw a TikTok clip of husband and wife. They're in a hospital, and it was tragic because the husband was told that he had like some form of cancer, and even if he did survive it, there was like a 7 to 9 month window of survival. 9% of people were like surviving this, and I forget exactly what it was. And of course, the reality sets in. His wife is sad because she realizes that the time that they spent is now coming to an end. His son is there but doesn't really understand what's going on, and yet he was able to take the situation. He's like, I got a lot of living to do before I go. And his main concern was that he wasn't thankful for all of the things that God had blessed him with. So he was like, I realize I need to take time to do that. Now, to be told that you only got 7 to 9 months to live and your reaction is, man, I got to be more thankful to God. Some people would look at that and be like, how can you stand on that? It really is in your spirit. It's in your heart. It's in what you believe. It's in what you know. It's in how you live. It's in what you've gone through, what you grow through. Like, to know that, he's like, I'm not worried because I know at the end of the day, like, he's like, I'm not afraid to die. I know where I'm going. He's like, I just know that I want to be more thankful of what I do have. And, I think that I'll just say it. A lot of us, including myself, like, I think we take certain opportunities and certain days for granted. We just think we have it all together, and the reality is that we don't really know. So it's like with each day that you get, that's something you can definitely be thankful for, because each day there's something new to gain. There's a new experience. You might meet somebody new. It might be the day where your life changes for the best. You ran into somebody and now you've met your significant other, or you did something on a job and now like things are starting to look up. You just don't know. And on the flip side of that, I understand that sometimes things happen where, it could alter, it could be life changing, it could be all those things. And it makes you feel like you're all alone or you're in a dark space or what may have you. Nevertheless, in the grand scheme of things, like experiencing that it definitely does something. It hurts. But if you're able to take that experience and find a way to use it for the good, find a way to motivate others, find a way to continue to moving forward, and people can see your story and see the steps that you take, that's something to be thankful for too. Because once again, what was meant to maybe bury you has now been the very thing that you've used to show how you persevered, how you overcame, and how you're using what was meant as a weakness to be your strength. So be thankful for every opportunity and every experience and every moment that you have. I had a thankful moment this weekend. It wasn't the most ideal thing that I liked, but I had to step back and be thankful. I was supposed to meet up with my good friends. I miss these dudes. These like my brothers. We were supposed to go to this concert in the same day. I had a football party I had to go to for my son, who had an exceptional year, and the team had an exceptional year. They came up one game short, but them boys were good, man. Really, really good. So I wanted to be there in support of my child because it was his first football season. And yeah, it's a party, but I wanted to see him and just be able to share in that moment. I also want to go to this concert too, right? So, as you know, if you've been following the podcast for a while, you know that I have a car that is it ain't great. But it is what it is, right? I can't take it on the highway, the car will lock up. But through the city, not that bad, right? I can make it through. So I every now and then I would be able to take it out, drive it a couple of places. Nothing over the top. But we could get from point A to point B and it wouldn't be an issue. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, cool. Stay on your local roads. I had it all planned out of what I was gonna do. Go to the party for a little bit, make sure my people were safe, go meet with them, go enjoy the party. No big deal. That didn't happen. 6 minutes into the car ride of a 12-minute car ride to get from my house to said party, I'm at the halfway point. I'm 6 minutes away from home, 6 minutes away from the party. Engine light starts to blink. I'm like, well, that's not normal. Um, Pull over into this school because that was like it actually happened at a, like, if it was gonna happen, it happened at a decent time because I was able to pull into this parking lot and kind of like regroup, kind of figure out what to do. So I was like, the best thing I can do right now is take this home. And I didn't want to be a burden to anybody with this car being the way that it was. I got friends that are traveling in, but then like the logistics of where they were versus where I was versus where it needed to be and the timing and all those things, just it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. So my plans did not go how I wanted it to go. And I was pretty upset about it because I wanted to be there. And of course, what happens? You go home, you're sitting there, you're upset, and then all of a sudden you jump on social media and everybody's having the time of their life. And here I am sitting on the couch watching a college football game that I had no interest in at all. So, needless to say, I wasn't happy. But there's a lesson out of this. Because imagine, if you will, I make it to the party, I see my son, that's great. All right, son, have a good time. I gotta go. I'm about to go link up. All right, cool. So now here I am driving, and now I'm further away from home and maybe not quite at my destination, and then that happens. Because now the decision is, if this car doesn't work and I'm in foreign I'm in a foreign spot, like what do I do? Can't just park it randomly in the street. They'll tow it. Then I'm gonna have to pay more money to get that. Then, if my peeps is in the line, like, yo, we at the line, we waiting on you, and they done parked and they waiting on me. But now all of a sudden I gotta tell them to come get me. So you gotta leave, get back in your car, come down. Like, it's just a bunch of things that could have went crazy, but it didn't. It was meant for them to be there and enjoy themselves. It was meant for me to be back home and be around family, I guess. I just gotta take that for what it is. Wasn't happy about it, but not that I don't like hanging out with my family. I love my family. But I had this plan. It was in my mind. I was excited about it. The worst part was I had the whole fit too. Got the whole fit. I had my homeboy's hoodie logo, the Urban Royalty. So I had that. I was gonna rock that to the concerts. People, oh, what is that? Oh, Urban Royalty. He made it. Like that. I had a whole thing planned out as to how I was gonna market this. But it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. Yet and still, despite it all, I'm safe. They safe. That's something to definitely be thankful for. In the midst of the plans, when it didn't go right, I was still able to be safe. And I was still able, through them, be able to kind of enjoy what it was I was supposed to experience. I just saw it in a different way. Yet and still, I saw them having a good time. I know what that concert meant to them, and I know what that music, like, being in college and coming up, it was a like, there was some dirty South music down there. If you're into that thing, and like, that was dope. But at the same time, I wasn't supposed. I guess it wasn't meant for me to be there. Sucks in the moment, but at the same time, I got to be okay with it, because the biggest thing I thought about was, what if I would have tried to push it? Because I know me. That would have happened. I would have been like, nah, we got to make it. And I would have found a way to push it. And maybe I get there. And maybe I go in there and I'm having a time of my life. Maybe things go well. And then maybe I get in that car and it doesn't start. Or maybe on my way back home, that car does something it's not supposed to do. And now I cause an accident because of I want to do this. I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So didn't work out how it was supposed to work out, but it still worked out in a weird way. So it's like, who are you when things change? How can you still be thankful when whatever plan you had doesn't work out? How can you still stand strong, even though whatever situation you face, it might make you feel weaker in the moment? How do you overcome that adversity? How do you put yourself in a position to still stand firm through it all? And when you do make it through, how thankful are you? I don't want you to be in a spot in your life where you take everything for granted, where you think that you're gonna be guaranteed every day, where you think that everything is gonna go the way you want it to, where you think that every person is gonna agree with everything that you say. Because the reality is, it doesn't happen that way. And there's people that had plans this morning that maybe didn't work out the way it was supposed to. And when you think about it from that standpoint, I know it's a crazy thing to be like, how can I still stand here and be thankful when somebody else had something happen? Like, it shows compassion, it shows humility, but it also shows, like, everybody has something different. Yet and still, if you have the right spirit in your heart and you have the right mindset and you can still be thankful despite it all, like, you actually have more than what you know. You have more wealth and more knowledge than what you know. It's hard to explain that to people, because the reality is when it doesn't go the way that you want it to go, it's more frustrating than it is helpful. But the reality also is that if you're able to see it, learn from it, grow from it, build from it, and better yourself through it, it works out. It does. It's a weird way of how it works out, but it does. And I could have really been selfish about it, but I am thankful though. Like I'm thankful that they got a chance to enjoy themselves. I'm thankful that I was able to get home safe, and I'm thankful that in the grand scheme of things, that car didn't mess up in the moment of where I needed to go back and be safe. Think about that. I was at a point where I'm sitting here looking at this, and my thought is I got all these other people that are a factor in the decision I make from this point. And I know it doesn't seem like a big thing, but at the same time, like it kind of is. I take that car any further and it goes above what it can do. Who knows how that impacts a person's night? Thank God I was able to make it back home safe. Because I know there's situations where some people don't. So I have to be grateful, but I also have to be humble enough to know and not be selfish in the sense of like, oh, I made it, like I'm better. No, man, because it could be anybody. You just have to take that time to analyze yourself and analyze your heart and really be thankful for these moments in time, man. Too much is happening across the world. Too many people are caught up in situations that they never thought that they would see themselves in. And there's just certain moments in time where we become numb to some of the things that we see. So it's like, how can we back up and tell ourselves, okay, this is happening, this is going on, but what can I still be thankful for in these moments? You ever notice like sometimes you'll see people who have less than you, but they're happier than you? You ever notice that sometimes there's people who can still stand strong on faith even when you wouldn't blame them for giving up? How are they able to do that? Like, what is it about their character that allows them to be able to still stand strong in the face of adversity like that? When some of us have more fortunate things and we have roofs over our head and clothes on and we've got hot food on the table, and yet we can still be ungrateful for those things because maybe it's not what we want, or maybe the day went bad. Yet and still, I think about the guy that I pass when I'm coming home who stays under a bridge with his bag and a sleeping bag and stays on a bus bench, and yet and still he's up every day enjoying the day. Yet I'm complaining because it's raining. I'm complaining because it's cold. I'm complaining because the weather is bad and he's sleeping in it. Why shouldn't I be thankful I got a roof over my head? Like, further rant, I don't have a lot of money that I wish that I had. So there's times where I sit at home and I'm trying to figure out, how do I still provide? Like, how can I be a man and provide when I don't have everything that I need? Yet and still, I was able to get people where they need to go. I got my kids to school. I got my wife to work. You know, I'm taking care of things around the house. I'm able to be there for parent appointments and step into the father role and make sure that my wife knows that her husband got her back regardless of what happens. Like, there's so many things that are out there that are bigger than money. There's so many things that are bigger than materials. Being present, being aware, being helpful, being grateful, like those are the things that I think about. So it's like, in every situation, in all circumstances, be thankful for where you are and what you have, even when you're facing trials and tribulations, because we also know who the ultimate victor is when we're standing in these moments. It's the process that makes us uncomfortable, but it's the destination that lets us know that we're going to be okay. So I hope that you can be thankful for that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I went a little deep, but that's okay. I want us to think. I want us to be grateful for those things, right? So, most of us this week are gonna, and might be doing it now. I don't know. You're gonna be sitting down. You're gonna be eating. You'll watch the football game. You'll be around family and all that. You'll be around certain family members that maybe you don't want to talk to. You'll be maybe in situations that you don't want to be in. Maybe the football game don't go the way you want it to go. Maybe you got to go to work. Maybe you aren't able to be at the table right when the food is being served because you got other obligations or what may have you. I don't know, but there's other times that I think about, like, why don't we do this more often? Like, I mean, I get it. The holiday is great and things happen in life, but like, I would love to be just call my mom on a random Tuesday and just be like, yo, take the 4 hour trip down to come see us and just chill at the table with us while we eat dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to have things like that. So it's like, I know it doesn't always work that way, but I think that's why it makes moments like these even better when you're able to enjoy yourself around family and friends. So, definitely take that time to appreciate it. Don't take anything for granted. That's the biggest thing, right? Like, I think when we wake up in the morning, we feel like it's just a guarantee that things are going to go well. It's just a guarantee that it all plays out the right way. And, unfortunately, I've had to see it in different ways, especially when you work with youth and then like people like, rest in peace to Emmanuel Hayes and Sereno Foster, two my former players that I love dearly, that had their plans for the day and then didn't see the next day. Young brothers, 19, you know what I'm saying? Like, that hurts. That hurts. But then I see Reno's brother thriving. I see Emmanuel's cousin thriving. I'm coming to watch him play ball this year, you know what I'm saying? And I know, Reno's older brother went off to college. In the midst of all those things, they could have easily folded and gave up on the situation, but they're still driving and they're still going. That's something to be thankful for, because those brothers are probably going to do something that's going to change the world one day. I don't know, but if they gave up, would we be able to see it? I'm glad that they're still going. I'm glad that they're not giving up. I'm glad that we can see it. I'm glad that I was able to coach them, because it gives me a like a strength. It gives me a spirit of strength of knowing that no matter what we face, if we're able to wake up and see another day, we can keep going. We can keep building. We can keep striving. We can keep creating our story. We can keep writing chapters. We can keep providing wisdom and insight and experience, so that way we can help the next generation not go through what we faced. Like, I can be thankful for that. I can be thankful for the lessons that my mom passed down to me. I'd be thankful for what my dad taught me, because now those things I'm giving to my family. So that's what I'm thankful for, is that their experience and the things that they go through, the things that I see from other people around me through the connections I've been able to make. Like, I take all those things in and I appreciate what I see. It helps me not take days for granted. It helps me not be super stagnant. I still got things I got to work on, obviously, but it helps me to realize, like, if I'm here and I'm breathing and I have a purpose, then I need to get to it. So ain't no time wasting. I got things I got to do. So it becomes life becomes different when you start being thankful for things that you used to take for granted. Life becomes more powerful when you can give thanks to others with nothing in return. Life becomes beautiful when you can think about all the things that you've experienced and yet you're still standing. And you can be thankful for every experience that you faced and yet you're in this position right here, right now. Be thankful for what you got. And sometimes you can be thankful for what you don't have. uh, I'm not going to expand on that, but you take that how you need to take it. Because there's some things I don't want, and I'm very thankful I don't have them. Same goes for you. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you can think of some stuff. You'd be like, man, thank God I ain't got that. Like, thank God I dodged that bullet. You know what I mean? But this podcast is not to expose, it's to encourage and strengthen. So, um, but seriously, take time to be thankful for what you have. Take time to look at your life and realize that there's so many avenues you could have went down. There's so many different scenarios that you could have faced, and it might not be the most ideal place that you're in right now, but it could be better than what you had before. You know what I'm saying? Like, one day that car might not be the car that I drive anymore. I may have a car that is beat up, but if it's getting me from point A to point B, you best believe I'm thankful, and I'm still gonna play my music. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put on my Alex jean. Why would I stress about that? Like that. That's what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna definitely definitely be grateful because I know what it's like to not have a car and walk everywhere. That was something actually. Let me tell you about this story. You talk about understanding life. My grandma was way ahead of her time. God rest her soul. She passed away my senior year of high school. Dedicated the remainder of the season to her, but she was solid. And here's what I remember when I was young. I can't remember if my sister was with us. She might have been. But I think she was. So I would go to my grandma's house, because my parents would be at work or whatever, and somebody gotta watch me, right? So my grandma, now mind you, we grew up in Cleveland. So if you're from Cleveland, you'll understand how long this is. So she had this drugstore that she went to on St. Clair, but East 55th and St. Clair, like close to downtown. So we driving from basically Eddie Road, like 117th, all the way to 55th. A lot of streets. And if you've been to Cleveland, St. Clair, it just goes. All right, cool. Well, we also had to go grocery shopping. So I think the grocery store was on like East 72nd, right? So she pulls up and we park on the street, which I thought was weird. She pulled up to where the grocery store was. I'm like, well, that make sense. I was like, are we going to the grocery store first? She said, no, I gotta go get my prescription from the drugstore. And I was like, okay. I was like, but the drugstore is on 55th. She's like, I know. I said, well, you leaving the car here, that doesn't make sense. And she's like, nah, we gonna walk there. I'm like, why would you do that? Grandma, I don't think you understand, but if you drive there and go and then come back, like it's a lot quicker. But my grandma loved to walk. That was one thing that she always did. She walked everywhere. Like it didn't matter. She walked around the block, she walked to the store, she walked whatever. Like that's just what she do. So we walked from East 72nd to East 55th. Mind you, I'm like 7 or 8 at the time. So like this is far for me. So we go from 72nd to 55th. Get to the store, get what we need to get, come out, and then go from 55th back to 72nd. And then, as a teaser, get in the car to go park in the grocery store parking lot just to walk around the store and get groceries. Now, part of me thinks that she did this to make me tired. And if she did, it worked out just fine. But the bigger lesson I got was that, we made progress that day. We got everything we needed to get and then some. So when I was in a situation where I didn't have a car, but I was living close to where I was working and I was just walking places, people would ask me that question. Why you always walking places? I got places to be. I got things to do. I realized that I had ways to go. So I'm going. It might take me 30 minutes to get to work and 30 minutes to get back, but guarantee this, I'm going to be there. I did that forever. So it's like when the car situation didn't go the way that I wanted it to, I'm grateful to have people that live close enough that could get me from point A to point B. But I also know that, like, hey, if I gotta do what I gotta do. Now that walk from where I am now to where the job would be outrageous. But if I had to do that to provide for my family, then so be it. So be it. My grandma taught me that. Like, what could be a distraction for others could be a blessing towards you. Like, oh no, you ain't no car. I can't do that. Well, I can. I'm gonna go. And people always just like, why don't you ask this and ask that? Because I'm capable of doing it. It wasn't a prideful thing. It was just this is why my grandma took me on those walks. Like I could still make progress, and I'm thankful for that. What are you thankful for? That's the task this week. Find something to be thankful for. What is it that you possess in your life that allows you to give thanks? What is it that you have made it through? What is it that you're facing that you're able to conquer? What is it that you've overcome? What is it that you're fighting and winning? What is it that, that one thing that you hold on to that gives you that joy? Find that and be thankful. Like, not in a selfish way, but if you're sitting hearing my voice right now or watching me talk about this, be thankful that you're alive and you can hear it and you can see it. Every day is not promised, but if you got this day, be thankful for that. And the big thing for me is that I'm thankful for all of you because I was scared to do podcasts. now I can't get enough. So thank you. And go enjoy yourself. Be safe this holiday. Be careful this holiday. Enjoy yourself. But always remember, I believe in you. Go believe in yourself. All right. See Overthinking Thoughts Pod. I'm Ed. We out.
These thoughts up in my head. Things I never did. I took some L's, but I'm still here. I got these thoughts up in my head. I toss and turn about some things I never said. I got regrets about some things I never did. I took some risks and took some L's, but I'm still here. And I know.